Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Thinking Circle podcast. Today, we're having two special guests with us, and we'll be discussing about the ups and downs of abortion and if this should be considered as a necessary way or not. So, from what I researched about, I found that the doctors defined it as the termination of a pregnancy resulted by the premature exit of the product of conception by the 28 weeks of pregnancy. And there are many reasons of why you should come to it. So, without further ado, what can you say about this, Carolina?
Well, the UN recognized the abortion as a human right, and legalized abortion allows to have timely abortion. In 1970, 1 of 4 abortions took place after 13 weeks of gestation. In 2005, 99% of abortions were performed within the third semester, and 65 performed under the 8 weeks of gestation. This according to a study of Gutschmaster Institute, and a study concentrated in fetal pain find out that the fetus doesn't feel pain after the third semester. Evidence regarding the capacity for fetal pain is limited, but indicates that the fetal perception of pain is unlikely before the third semester. This is according to the American Medical Association, and according to the study of contraceptive of the Gutschmaster Institute in the U.S., 54 of the women that get an abortion use contraceptives by the month that they get pregnant in 2000, and in 2014 it declines to 51%.
So, Arlen, about hearing what Carolina has said about being in favor of abortion and many of the very situations women go through in the US getting an abortion, I still have my doubts considering this method may sometimes be unsafe. So, what do you think about this?
Thank you for having me. So, the first thing I want to talk about is genes. According to the National Human Genome Institute, a genome is an organism's complete set of DNA, a chemical compound that contains the genetic instructions needed to develop and direct the activities of every organism. At fecundation, this is created. Life begins at fertilization. The following references illustrate the fact that a new human embryo, the starting point for a human life, comes into existence with the formation of one called zygote. Although life is a continuous process, fertilization is its critical landmark, because under ordinary circumstances, a new genetically distinct human organism is thereby formed. According this to the Princeton Education website, some of the characteristics of living things are the movement, the respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. And according to the Organization of Science Learning Hub, this all happens with a baby on the womb. According to Women's Choice and Women's Rights, we support women's rights. We're all for choice too. So as long as you don't kill anybody, there is no such thing as a right to kill innocent people.
So, everyone has great points of view. But there's one thing Arlen said, you said, Arlen, and it was interesting that there's no right to kill everyone. We don't have no right to kill everybody. But do you consider that the baby, unborn baby, still has that right?
Yes, of course. We think that this embryo is already alive, or at least a potential life, and it shouldn't be messed with or killed.
Yeah.
See, if we determine life through consciousness, then someone that's in a coma, that's not conscious, that wouldn't be considered alive, and I'm allowed to kill it.
It's not a life that is waiting to happen. It's not the same as a fetus.
Why not?
A fetus doesn't really have movement yet. Either just I tell you, doesn't have movement, doesn't have consciousness, and you say, well, it could have consciousness, it could have movement. A person in a coma has, brain activity. It has a lot of these things, and doesn't have to wait until they have it. They already have it.
Okay,
They're
so
not in development.
yeah, of course, and a baby's too. He's growing, he's developing himself.
No, a person in coma is not a development. A fetus, it is in development.
Of course,
It's not a complete life.
Okay, so here's what I wanna let's put the basics. So if we're basing life, because I think here's like all the different points of view is where they crash. So if we're basing life off of consciousness, a person in a coma does not have brain activity. That's why he's in a coma, because his brain is not working. So let's say that a person in a coma, we know that person is gonna wake up on 9 months. are we allowed to kill him? Is he not alive anymore? Because he's in a coma?
He, well, I assuming that before he had brain functions. Then they have a testament, they have a life. They could say, well, if I'm in a coma, I want to disconnect. And if it's in 9 months, they could just wait for it. Because it's not the same as having a pregnancy. You're not so, it's dependent of a machine, and a woman is not a machine.
Yeah, but
A woman is a human being that has really necessities and has job.
so if
it has
something
to
is
have a
not
lot-
fortunate for you, then we should kill it. If
No.
something is not convenient.
It's not that it's not convenient. Do you know how these women that have an abortion live? Or you just have this image in your mind? That all the women say, oh my god, it's so inconvenient for me to have an abortion. I get
So then why have
that.
it? Because less than 10% of abortions are actually needed. This is all because of choice, according to the Washington Examiner.
No. According to the National Library of Medicine of National Institutes of Health, most women seeking abortion was for 14 timing from 31 from the most 14 is for financial reasons, and most of them
Yeah,
are
that
poor and
includes
low
that it's
income
not
women
convenient.
that it's inconvenient. You know, it's inconvenient that your child is dying from hunger. You know, such inconvenience.
So we should kill the hungry because it's inconvenient they are living because they're hungry.
If they're hungry, they're going to die anyway, because I think it's
Okay.
gonna.
Oh,
You're just wanting to birth, and then you know their life anyway. What's matter?
okay, so let's hear your final thoughts about this. Alain, please.
So my final thought is that I'm actually pro-choice too, pro-abstinence, pro-contraceptions, pro-adoption, pro-motherhood.
Okay, and Caro?
Okay, Dad. I'm still pro-choice. Motherhood has to be wished or should not have. And you know that most of the women that have an abortion, they really need it, and that restrictions on abortion doesn't really stop abortions.
Well, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to our podcast. And for last, maybe to wrap this up, let us say what the listener thinks about this, because
Yeah.
there's many interesting
Points of view.
points of view of this topic. So
Yeah.
we want you to tell us what do you think about this, and please follow our social medias and our guest social medias too. And yeah, thanks for watching.